Welcome back to Meet the Monster. This week is Bug Time, also featuring the comic demo which I forgot last week for the Eagle. Sorry about that. Anyway, this week we're taking a look at another staple of fantasy TTRPGs, at least in my experience, big bugs. Well, this one isn't giant, it's just kind of big, but it is much bigger than you would otherwise expect to see an insect. This is the Flash Beetle. Monster Core has this to say about them. These 3-foot-long insects boast a pair of glowing organs on the back of the abdomen that give off bright light and that continue to glow for days, even after the creature's death. Flash beetles are commonly herded and harvested by miners and spelunkers, as their glow is considered safer than torches and less expensive than lamps. Denizens of the Darklands often domesticate and train these insects, using them as pets, livestock, or caging them to use as organic sources of light in areas frequented by visitors unaccustomed to the darkness. There you go! Pretty big bug, produces light, used by people whose business or life is in the dark in various ways. The Flash Beetle is small in size and has the animal trait, so it has an intelligence of at least a -4 and can't be trained in intelligence-based skills. Its HP is relatively low at only 6, but its AC is quite high for a level -1 creature at a 16. Saves are decent too, +5 for Fortitude, +8 for Reflex, and +4 for Will. 8 is high at level 1, and +4 is only just below the average, so it's doing quite well there. Most of the time it also has a luminescent aura, with it having the aura and light traits. The Flash Beetle's bioluminescent organs fill the area, 10 feet, with bright light. An aura is an emanation out from you, so 10 feet out from the beetle in this case. It's trained to both athletics and acrobatics at a +4 and +6 respectively, and has a perception of +6, with low light vision, creating its own light so it doesn't need full dark vision. It has the following attributes: +1 to strength, +3 to dex, +2 to con, -5 intelligence, +1 wisdom, -2 charisma. It has a speed of 20 feet, but can also fly with a 15 feet speed. The Flash Beetle has a couple of other tricks up its sleeves as well, and if you wanted to uncover these in-game, with the recall knowledge, you could roll a nature roll with DC 13, unspecified law DC 11, and specified law DC 8. These are pretty consistent across the board for level -1 creatures so far, to find out more about the creatures. It has one attack, Mandibles, at a +8. That's quite high too for level -1, which does 1d4 +1 piercing damage. This is the Agile and Finesse traits, reducing the multiple attack penalty for follow-up attacks, and being the reason why the attack modifier is so high, using that +3 from Dex rather than the +1 from Strength. In addition, it has another action, Light Flash, which is one action and has the Concentrate and Light traits. The Flash Beetle creates a brilliant flash of light. All creatures in its luminescent aura, which is the 10-foot aura around it, must succeed at a DC 17 Fortitude save or be dazzled for 1 minute. The Flash Beetle's glow then goes out, disabling its aura for 24 hours, during which time it cannot use Light Flash, obviously. If your eyes are overstimulated and your vision is swimming, which is what Dazzle does, if your vision is your only precise sense, which it is for most humans and most creatures that you're going to play as anyway, all creatures and objects are concealed to you, meaning you have to make a DC 5 check to target them successfully. This isn't a basic save either, you're dazzled or you're not, so that helps lessen the danger of this a bit, as a 17 is a high DC for a creature of this level. After using it though, if it's in pure darkness, the beetle can't see well either, so makes sense as kind of a last resort battle tactic, or in a place where it is already quite bright light. Unless maybe it was trained to see well otherwise or something. So that's pretty much the Flesh Beetle. It does have a note about the light glands. Obviously such a beetle does not need to treasure or collect it, but the glands can be used in illumination-based alchemical recipes and spell components and magical item creation. So still a lot of uses for them and plenty of reasons the party may need to go and harvest a few. Speaking of the party, let's not forget about them this week, shall we? Let's see how they do in a battle against these bugs. Oh, and if you're still here, maybe subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. So here we are, the simulated combat. Our party has been requested to go collect some light glands. They've found some Flash Beetles. The Flash Beetles see them and sense their hostility and defend themselves. We roll initiative. One Flash Beetle goes first. It has to spend 2 actions to move, as it's a 25-foot move to reach missile, and it strikes. It rolls pretty well, manages to get a hit, and does 4 points of damage. When Yeezy, our bard, is up next, she spends her first action to use one of her focus points on lingering composition, getting success on the roll, meaning that the lingering composition comes into effect, and the following Courageous Anthem that she spends her next action on will last for 3 rounds. She casts Daze, which the creature gets a critical fail on, and she rolls 3 damage, it doubles it, that's 6, that's its health pool, it is dead, that is their weakest save. Next up, we have our Witch Exemplo. He blasts a Caustic Blast, hitting one of the creatures and killing it, doing splash damage to the 2 others. And then goes to protect Katachuro, their familiar. Next we have another Flash Beetle moving in to try and attack Oh, no, it's going to use its light flash. Abysmal. Everyone apart from Ranyisi and Katachuro fail and are now dazzled. And they have to succeed on a DC 5 roll to actually target successfully. Another Flash Beetle moves in and makes a strike, but it misses. Quite a high AC on Masao, who strikes back. Ooh, critical hit, but she fails the dazzle roll, so it manages to survive this attack. Would have been a very unpleasant strike against them. We follow up, however, with another attack with the machete. We have to change them out from being a Falcata because they weren't technically trained in that weapon. This attack does hit for 8 points of damage, which is plenty enough to kill that Flash Beetle. And she will then raise her shield to protect against other upcoming attacks. Another Flash Beetle will come in and make a strike against Masao. It's got to move quite far. And it does not hit thanks to that raised shield, so that worked out pretty well. Ray, Gunslinger, will then step and take a shot. That's a critical hit thanks to the high modifier, and a 20 to hit. So yeah, that's definitely a hit. It's going to do a splash damage to Masao as well, but that is another dead bug. And he'll then advance towards the remaining ones and reload his weapon. He got that free move at the start thanks to his Gunslinger feat. 10 paces. Another Beetle comes in, tries to attack Ray, manages to get 2 attacks in, but misses both. Again, quite a high AC there. When Yisi's Courageous Anthem continues, thanks to their prolonged performance, they cast Daze on this other Beetle that is attacking Exemplo. It fails to save, but only takes 2 points of damage. She then casts Shield on herself, just in case. Exemplo, who starts Courageous Anthem as well, moves himself out of range. These things do not have a reactive strike, and then casts Caustic Blast. So Acid Splash last time, Caustic Blast this time. Which this thing has a decent save on, but it still fails. The damage for this is 5 + 1, 6. It goes down, leaving Masao to move down, flank this final one with Ray, take a strike, hit with Daze, and that is it. And that is going to be the combat. Okay, there you have it. As you can see, these aren't too tricky to take down. The splash damage and the rolls certainly helped in this situation, but also the use of Daze exploiting their weakest save, and the fact that even with their high AC we have a Gunslinger and a Fighter in their party, clustered with some of the highest attack modifiers in the game. Plus Courageous Anthem from my Bard. Yeah, unless your rolls are awful, these are still going to have a pretty high chance of hitting, if not critting. The ability to dazzle does certainly improve their chances. It prevented one from getting critically hit out the door already, but not by a lot. It's only 1 in 5. Unfortunately, the attack modifier simply isn't high enough to be hitting the high AC on targets either, but then again, that's fine. They're a level -1 enemy, and they're just a little bug. A big little bug, but you know what I mean. They're probably only going to be attacking you in self-defense, or if you're trying to harvest their light glands. So what can we do to mix things up with these beetles? Well, there is already a giant stag beetle which we can reskin to make a giant flash beetle, so that's sorted. We could also maybe make one that's more of a predator. Perhaps instead of a flash beetle, it's a gloom beetle or a dark beetle. It has a more powerful bite perhaps, and a natural equivalent of a darkness spell, though maybe normal dark vision can see through it as it's not actually magical, and it would have dark vision itself of course to be able to see through the effect. Could even still have the usual beetle glow, the normal light aura, to lull passers-by into a false sense of security. They just ignore it and go on, or expect to kill it to get an easy, score, and then blam, darkness and skittering legs. That could be a pretty unexpected encounter. You could also work on the basic idea of beetles too. Keep the standard beetles as kind of drones, but then add in some workers, soldiers. Hey, even a queen could be cool. Maybe the workers are a bit bigger and they have a larger flyer speed to do their work. Soldiers are big again. Maybe they can't fly, but they have tougher armor, a grab attack, and they have mandibles. Maybe they have claws as well. Then you have the queen, which would obviously be much bigger. Maybe has a hive mind aura, so that other bugs in its aura benefit from positive modifiers, kind of like the songs bards use, and makes them weather controlled. With the caveat, of course, if the queen is taken out, they lose their connection, perhaps are stunned or fleeing or something like that. Turning to using them in adventures and other encounters, obviously they can be used for simple quests, harvest this many flash beetles and fuse some potions and stuff like that. Maybe there's an infestation of them in a mine though, and they need clearing out. Or flip it and they infest a mine, but it's helpful, as they provide light without any danger. But there is something else in the cave that keeps hunting them. This could be anything, from some other party of adventurers who's harvesting them, something drilling deeper in the cave that uses them for food or as a light source themselves, for exploration, or maybe something entirely darker, some entity that just hates light in all its forms and has just made it its goal to destroy them and with everything else. If you go in that direction, these little bugs could be the starting point or even a key player in the entire story arc, or maybe even a campaign. If you look at the alternatives we've created, a level party could get their starting investigation from a string of deaths or disappearances in the local woods, which is locally known to have these flash beetles, kind of like large fireflies, but some of the population are actually gloom beetles that have now moved in. A nice little low stakes adventure for level 1 party getting started that still has plenty of room for mystery, investigation and spooks, party depending. And you could have some fun alien homages with the Queen and all her drones and so on, or Starship Troopers if there's more of a question of whether killing these bugs is actually worth it or the right thing to do. Or maybe the Queen herself is able to communicate telepathically with the party, kind of like the Sea Emperor in Subnautica, and is actually the quest giver. Maybe she is the one who gives the party the quest to find whatever is hunting her drones and workers, or they need someone to help them find a safer spot where they can build a new nest. Lots of choices there. And that's about it for the Flesh Beetle, I reckon. The Flesh Beetle? That's a completely different creature. The Flash Beetle. A fun little bug with some light manipulation and a decent AC that works well for little fetch quests, but which you can clearly do so much more with. Thanks for watching. Please leave any ideas or ways you've used the Flash Beetle down below. I'm always interested to find out how the people have used these creatures. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, and hey, subscribe. I'll have another one out in a month or so, along with many other videos in between that are mostly Pathfinder, but occasionally some other bits and bobs as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.